So Edge of Tom. Edge of Tom. Edge of Tom. That's bad. Have you got any more? Edge of Tom.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Right, Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. More like Edge of Tom
Edge of Tom, as it was on
Cruise.
yeah, Edge of Tom Cruise. That's how it appeared on the ticket, wasn't it? Edge of Tom. So they couldn't print out the whole name for whatever reason.
We'll never get over Wrath of the Tit though.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That will go down as the best ticket I've ever bought.
The best film I've ever seen is Wrath of the Tit. Okay, so
summing it up for me, right?
It's funny because I used this phrase recently. Not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, better than I expected it to be, but ultimately,
fuck.
She had a kid as well. Jesus.
That all from that one person?
Yeah, it must have been.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so let me just like put this out here now. Okay. From what I remember from seeing films with Tom Cruise in, none of them are particularly bad, but none of them are good because of Tom Cruise.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Does that make sense? So he doesn't make a film really good, but he doesn't ruin it either. He sort of.
I swear he always plays the same character.
Yeah, he plays himself.
Yeah.
And he just is in a film. I can never really describe what kind of character he is in any of the films.
Yeah.
If I had to describe what his character is without describing what he looks like, what his job is, I would really struggle.
Yeah.
But I sort of enjoy watching them.
Yeah.
You know? And like with this film, I went into it thinking it's going to be Tom Cruise just being Tom Cruise again, and he's just going to end up shooting everything and being the saviour of the day. And broadly speaking, that was it. But it was ever so slightly different, and that slight difference, it made it more bearable, made it more interesting.
Yep.
So in that respect, it was not as bad as I thought it'd be.
For me, you're right. Groundhog Day wins.
Yeah. What, that film?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is a good film. Yeah, this. I think. Yeah, hands down. But in some ways, I'm surprised thinking about it that more films haven't taken that concept and ruined it.
I know, you would have thought by now you'd have had like 101 other films being let's do the same day over and over again.
Going round and round.
Whatever comedy or action comes with that.
Well, I think, at least with this film, it took the concept but it didn't butcher it.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. It didn't ruin the whole thing. It took that idea and it made it more interesting because it wasn't trying to be a comedy, firstly. It wasn't like a carbon copy of what they did with Bill Murray and stuff, you know? So it gets a pass for me on that, I'd say.
Just for me, like, most of it just wasn't special. You know, it wasn't bad, but it just...
So yeah,
there's nothing stood out as like, oh wow, that's a really cool idea, or oh wow, that's, you know, interesting. Ultimately, it just kind of fell flat a lot of the time.
Yeah, there was nothing that was spectacular. That's all I'd say. Yeah. It was a very average film.
I thought the ending was particularly weak as well.
How did it end?
They had the interesting idea of it going round and round and round, and then building up and up and up, and eventually finding where this...
That monster.
Yeah, whatever brain thing, you know, wherever that was. Yeah. And then suddenly he gets somebody else's blood, and he can't do that again. So like, he can't die. He can't die anymore, basically. And you'd think that'd be the point where like it gets suspenseful and stuff, but instead it was just kind of wasted. And then like he convinced all his troop or whatever.
Oh god, yeah.
To come along to Paris or whatever.
So yeah, that's the cringiest bit.
And and ultimately fight it somehow and not die, even though there'd be thousands of like these things probably defending it, and they're clearly like dangerous.
Yeah.
And like all of that, I don't know. It just it didn't work at the end for me.
Yeah, it's okay. Well. So yeah, the logic falls down the further you go into the film. But I sort of tend to ignore that because the whole film's ridiculous anyway. So again, I'm just like, you know what, whatever, it's fine. But you know, it was alright basically. The acting was nothing special. Tom Cruise is just himself, and that's, like I said, nothing bad but nothing special. Emily Blunt, I think her name is, she was okay, but again, I don't really know what her character was. She was just like some sort of saviour, but
she's just that like hard woman generic character.
Yeah, the generic sort of army military woman,
but she's like hot.
Yeah, she's like that typical thing where
right?
they're like ultra like military, you know, more so than the men, but at the same time insanely hot.
Yeah.
But you're not allowed to say that to them, otherwise they will like break your face.
Was it every time she was like, she'd be introduced, she did that like weird move, like.
Oh yeah, the don't do that.
I'm just like, what the fuck is that though?
Yeah, no, she was hot. She was good.
And she's like sweaty. She's been practicing whatever. She's like, ugh. I don't know. I don't want that. No.
I'd give this film 7 out of 10.
I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I'd go 6.5, 6. Say like go and see it if you can get in for free.
Yeah, go and see it if you can sneak in, or just see it on TV.
Or just
and do something else in the background.
Yeah.
Don't commit yourself to just watching this film and not being allowed to do anything else.
Don't pay £10 for a ticket.
No. Oh god, no.
This is what I've got to keep remembering. Like we've got like unlimited cards, but if you don't, you're paying like 10 quid a go.
No, oh my, there's more than that.
Like,
there's nothing more than that.
Like IMAX is like 14, 15 quid,
16?
isn't it? Oh my god.
It's crazy.
Like don't bother spending that much money on this film.
The action, I'd say, was alright. The special effects were okay.
Yeah, the special effects again, it's kind of like that level where it's like you're not thinking about it.
That's the thing with this film, yeah. Like it just feels it's across the board. Everything was average.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
Yeah.
That's kind of it, really. That sort of sums up the whole film.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much more to say, really.
No.
Hang on. There's one more thing to say.
One more thing. Just can't wait for the. You know it's coming. I can feel mine is there. Maybe I'll shake it up a bit. Oh god, that doesn't feel good.
Oh god.
No, it's not going to work for me, I think. I think mine's going to end up the other way.